Hello, my name is Fahim Iftikhar and my student ID is 210789111. Actually, my previous topic for presentation was a critical comparison of the duties of a buyer and seller under FOB and CIF contract. A free on board contract is a type of sales agreement between buyer and sellers. Under the terms of this agreement, the seller will transport the items to the port and load them onto a ship at his own cost and responsibility. A cost and insured and freight contract is one in which all three of these factors are factored into the final sale price. In my previous presentation, I was unable to deliver properly without enough research. Now, my current receipt or topic of presentation is an FOB seller has stringent duties. Then a CIF seller, I have made a poster on it. In this poster, I have done a research about an FOB seller has stringent duties than a CIF seller and gathered more knowledge and used cases. In this topic, my poster contains 5 points: conceptual underpinning, research methods, research aims, research questions, and I have also mentioned research literature review. First of all, I would like to give you overview of FOB and CIF. I am looking forward to learning more about international trade agreements. The terms FOB and CIF are two of the most prominent types of marina contracts. According to a 2020 global study by the International Chamber of Commerce, more than 61% of respondents claimed that CIF and FOB Incoterms are frequently employed in their contracts. Although these provisions appear to be equal on the surface, the duties ascribed to the seller differ significantly. Before we move any further, let us look at the same numbers. According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, the total value of global commercial trade in 2022 will be roughly US 19.5 trillion because transportation contributes around 70% of the value and 80% of the volume of international trade. CIF and FOB contracts underpin a sizable portion. Uh, Shipping and freight resource data shows that around 11 billion tons of cargo were transported by sea worldwide in 2019. It is estimated that more than half of this was done via FOB contracts, with the remaining done via CIF terms. This demonstrates how important these agreements are in the worldwide commercial scene. On the other hand, understanding the subtleties of these phrases is critical to facilitating successful trade partnership. According to the International Trade Center's SME Competitiveness Outlook 2019 research, over 40% of small and medium-sized firms encountered obstacles due to a lack of awareness of trade terminologies such as FOB and CIF. This emphasizes the importance of our current research, which aims to deconstruct the specific duties and obligations allocated to seller under FOB and CIF contracts. So Let us go on this intellectual adventure to investigate the complexities of FOB and CIF agreements and how they alter the dynamics of international trade, affecting economies, enterprises, and eventually each of us. Now I would like to describe conceptual underpinning. To comprehend these contracts, we must first grasp their fundamental concepts. The International Chamber of Commerce regulated words FOB and CIF are at the heart of international trade. During the shipping process, they demarcate the transfer of responsibilities from the seller to the buyer. In a FOB agreement, the seller's main responsibility is to deliver the products on board a ship selected by the customer. The buyer takes the risk of loss or damage during transit from that point forward. A CIF agreement, on the other hand, imposes additional obligations on the seller. They are responsible for bringing the products to the ship and arranging and covering shipping and insurance fees. Two seminal instances: Parain Co. Limited versus Sanidia Navigation Co. Limited 1954 and Wimble Sons and Co. Rosenbergs and Sons 1913 have shed light on these distinctions. Now I would like to describe research aims. This study aims to unravel these seller responsibilities under FOP and CIF agreements and examine their implications for international trade contracts. Our two main goals are first to analyze the differences in seller obligations under FOB and CIF contracts, and then to assess how these discriminations can influence the negotiation and implementation of such agreement. Now I would like to describe the most important point: research questions. Our research centers around two primary research questions. First, how do the various requirements of FOB and CIF sellers affect international trade contract negotiation and execution? Second, how can legal interpretations of these responsibilities influence contract dispute resolution? Now I would like to describe my fourth point of research methods. In research methods, basically our research, qualitative research provides the depth and nuance required to comprehend the complexities of FOB and CIF contracts. We will use various secondary data sources including legal case studies, academic literature, company reports, and scholarly publications. Data is more power in the world of international trade, according to a report published by the World Trade Organization in 2022. A thorough understanding of these trade contracts, such as FOB and CIF, can improve trade negotiation outcomes by up to 30%. Our study is thus targeted to provide you with such useful information. Our investigation will focus on around 50 examples from various legal jurisdictions. This figure is not arbitrary, rather it is based on a 2021 Legal Research Network report which suggests that a review of roughly 50 cases gives a representative sample for assessing legal trends. We will dissect each instance determining the parties' obligations, the interstices of the conditions, and the conclusion of any dispute. Moreover, in addition, we will do an in-depth analysis of approximately 20 academic journals and books according to the International Association of Scientific, Technical and Medical Publishers. The academic world generates approximately 2.5 million publications annually. We have picked key material from this massive amount that expressly sheds light on the duties and responsibilities of sailors under FOB and CIF contracts. The basis of our literature review will be working by famous scholars such as Sam Miffs, Dapistas, K. Stone and Todd among others. Furthermore, we will rely on data from industry reports. According to the 2022 Global Trade Review, misconceptions over FOB and CIF contracts caused nearly 70% of shipping conflicts. As a result, these reports will provide vital real-world insights into how these contracts might be used in practice. Now I would like to describe the literature review, beginning with Sam Huff's Export Trade, the Law and Practice of International Trade and its subsequent edition by Mori. These comprehensive resources investigate international trade law, providing a solid foundation for understanding the general principles and practice that apply to FOB and CIF contracts. Following that, we turn to Charles Dapista's Bills of Lading in Export Trade and D. Chalmers' The Law of Bills of Lading, both of which provide thorough insights into the legal ramifications of shipping documents, which are essential components of FOB and CIF contracts. International Trade Law by Indra Ka and Peter Stone and Godi. On Commercial Law by Godi or go into great detail about international commerce and commercial law. Finally, we have a collection of legal cases and materials from Trettle's The Law of Contract and Todd's Cases and Materials on International Trade Law that throw light on the practical use and interpretations of these contracts in real-world legal situations. To summarize, we will use these rigorously picked and investigated resources to drive our investigations and increase our grasp of sailors' obligations under FOB and CIF contracts. Now I would like to describe my last point, conclusion. Basically, our study aims to help you understand what FOB and CIF mean in practice by drawing on real world experiences and reputable academic papers. We hope to shed light on the practical complexity of these international trade agreements. I look forward to report I look forward to reporting on our results as we explore this intriguing and critical area of international trade law. I value your time. Thank you so much. End of speech. Bye for now.